There's a few summer dress patterns that I haven't sewn yet that I'm dying to make. I've got 7 to share with some fabric pairings so you can get some ideas for your inspiration and also inspiration for myself. If you like fabric, you will love this one. Stay tuned. Hi sewing friends, I'm Karina from liftingpinsandneedles.com. Welcome to this channel that is all about sewing, limitless sewing, and today is about fabric. I plan to make these types of videos every 2 months, every 3 months or so, not so often. This is not a fabric haul. Some of these fabrics you might have seen before because I've already made garments from them, and there are others that I knew that I've never shared before. So let's just call this a pattern to fabric pairing video, which I love to make. I know a lot of you like seeing these types of things and seeing what my decision making is to pairing a certain pattern to a certain fabric. I tend to have a knack for it. I love it, and I take my time, I stroke, I drape fabrics on me. It's a really fun and creative process for me, as well as trying to provide inspiration for you. I'm also inspiring myself because I get ideas. You know, even though later down the line, if I make these patterns, I might make them with another fabric. This is what I would make today and what made me happy and what I'm pretty sure would work really well. So there's a few patterns that I haven't sewn yet. I have quite an extensive collection in my computer of PDF patterns from about 1,000 indie pattern designers, and there's a few patterns I've already got there that I really want to sew. They are for hotter climate, for summer, and even though I'm in the middle of winter, I can still wear these during the day because it's really nice during the day here. When it's early morning and as soon as the sun sets at 6 p.m, it gets freezing. But you know, I can pretty much get around with summer wardrobe the whole year, and I have 7 patterns that I've chosen. Just really handpicked them out of my collection. I could have had more, but I don't really want to make the video too long. So the first one is actually a pretty recent pattern release from Helen's closet, and it's called the Reynolds top and dress, and I really like the style. It's super summery. I like that it's got thick straps that will cover your bra. It's got a type of square neckline here. The top of the bodice is straight, it's not curved, and I always like a square neckline. There is a bust dart. I know that Helen's closet has expanded sizing to from 0 to 34, and there's a B and a D cup option, which means I would probably choose the draft that has the B cup and do a little full bust adjustment there to make it to a C cup. That's usually what I do. And because this is a simple style without a bodice seam and the skirt is not full, I think you can get away with fabrics that drape a little bit less in this style. So I wouldn't want to make this in something too light like a rayon. I think it will just look floppy, and you know, you need a little bit of structure for this one. So I have 2 fabrics here to share. One is a cotton linen blend, and I wish I could find this type of fabric more. It's been quite hard to find, and when I found it, I've really enjoyed sewing it and wearing it. And I've already made a skirt with this type of fabric, but I still have it and I love it, and I think it's really nice. It's colors that are not typical for me, but I love all the tones in there, and I think it's a color that could suit me. I think a lot of colors suit me as long as they're not pastel. So you know, it's not the stiffest fabric. It's a light to medium weight fabric, and it would look really nice with a style like this. I'm always looking at the ones that reach above the knee. There is a little bit of a slit on the side, which I like. One of the reasons I also chose a fabric like this that has a larger print is because this pattern doesn't have too many cut lines. You know, there's not a separate bodice or princess seams or anything. So most of the large print would go uninterrupted with the exception of like a bust dart or something like that. So that's really nice. The other fabric I have is also a print that I would hate to interrupt, and it's a military green with these little shapes. They're not dots, but from far away this sort of looks like a polka dot fabric, and from previous experience I really dislike interrupting polka dots. I really dislike trying to match them because it's so hard, they're so small. So this would be really nice. It is 100% rayon, but heavier and textured, and it looks like linen. Let me show you the inside. That's how the wrong side looks. You can see all the texture. I can actually see each thread here. It's very weighty. It's got a little bit of drape, but I think because it's heavier weight, you know, it could be a dress like this that doesn't have a full skirt. So I think for this dress, definitely something medium weight that doesn't need to drape that much. I've got another type of fabric that I would love to use to make a dress like this also, and this is a linen rayon blend, medium weight, and it's got this embroidery. Also, I chose this embroidered fabric because of the simple style. and just a few seams would not interrupt this beautiful embroidery. It is also not flowy, it's not the stiffest fabric, but I don't think this design needs anything that needs to be flowy. Another pattern that I would really want to make for hot weather is one that was released maybe a couple of months ago. It's not an old pattern, it's not new. It is the Ava dress from Pattern Scout. Now I really like the patterns from this brand. I've always had great experiences. This one has a bodice that crosses over, not completely to the side seam, but there is a crossover there with a separate skirt. I really like that there's a gathered detail only on the sides and on the front, and the center back it's flat. I really like that. I think it's a really nice simple style, and there's a basta and cup sizes B, C and D. The sizing is really good also, from 0 to 28. So it's a really nice style that I could see just slipping on and being really nice and fresh to wear, really well fitting. Also, because this is not a full skirt, you don't really need fabrics that are too flowy, drapey, You can if you want to, but my first choice would be something that's a little bit more structured. And the other day I found online cotton gauze, which is a fabric I'd never been able to find. I had seen it before, of course, I know how it is. I've seen it in shops, in ready-to-wear clothes and things, but I'd never been able to buy some. And I got some in a print, which is great, because all the other cotton gauze, I'd seen ages ago were solids in pastel colors and I didn't like them. So look at this. It's a cotton gauze, it's super lightweight, super fresh, super soft. Now I know, I'm gonna probably wash this like 3 times to make sure it shrinks to its full potential shrinkage, because it's really loosely woven. I don't know if you can tell, but the weave is very loose. It's a little bit stretchy. I know it's gonna shrink vertically. I know it's gonna shrink, in every single way. So I did get a fair amount. I think I could squeeze the stress out of it after washing it a few times, making sure it shrinks. And I would love to have a dress like this. It would be so nice to wear in cotton. And the texture and the print is just marvelous. It is a fabric that's a little bit annoying to work with. Sometimes it tends to stretch. But there's always things that you can do to stabilize areas that will need to be protected, like the neckline. I would definitely stabilize with interfacing all of that area. So very possible, and I'm really excited to actually make this one come true, because I'm excited to sew this fabric. I never get to sew with it, The other option I have for this one is a solid. This is a rayon linen blend. Lighter weight than other ones I've had in the past. It's lighter and it looks very drapey. But it's not a light fabric, it's not shea, and I love this type of royal blue. I think I like it as much as I like red. I like all these colors, but an Ava dress in a solid would look really nice as well. I have a few blazers and jackets that are print that have some blue in there. A denim jacket on top would look awesome as well for autumn and winter. So I really like this, and I think this type of fabric would be great. This one has more rayon than linen. I think it's 70% rayon and 30% linen. That's why it's a little drapier and feels a little softer. But it has all that texture and look of linen, which makes it super pretty to look at. For a solid garment, I would do some top stitching. I think it would look really pretty. For the next pattern, I had a lot of fun trying to find the perfect fabrics for it, and it's just about finding the fabrics that have the right print for it, because for this type of pattern you could use so many different woven types of fabrics. And this is the Piper boho tunic from Wardrobe by Me. Now it is called a tunic, but there's actually a top, a tunic and a dress version there. If you can see in the liner, there's one that has a bit of an A-line, and there's different types of neck finishes here. And I like the one that they show there on the dress. It's an exposed facing with like a V here on the front. Depending on the look you like for these types of garments, you could choose something that has a bit of flow, like a rayon linen blend, or a bit more structured, like 100% linen. Maybe a cotton linen would look really nice. What I've chosen here are rayon linen blends, and I've got a lightweight rayon. And even though a lightweight rayon wouldn't be my first choice, I've chosen it just because of the print. And with fabric manipulation, you can achieve many things. So I'll show you my 100% rayon. It is lightweight. I would probably end up wearing a belt with a dress like that, because there's no real waist definition. Or maybe I could put a casing and put an elastic in there. And you might have seen this fabric before in another colorway, because I had a navy one with sort of coral type flowers, but in this colorway it's black. And it's a border print, because towards the bottom you have these features right there. So wouldn't it be cool to make the placket out of the polka dot and have it contrasting this part here. You know, the only reason I chose this is because it's a border print. So I could choose different areas of the print to place it in different areas of the dress so that it stands out. I would really want to make that exposed facing in a contrast print, although it is the same fabric, and I think this would be perfect. And the way to get around all the structure you need for the facing and all of that would just be to interface everything. That's all. You can still make something like this out of rayon, and I have sewn patterns that have details like that, like plackets and collars and facings with rayon. The only thing is that I interface it really well. I interface both layers. I interface the main piece as well there in the center where all these details are sewn onto to make it a little more stable. So I would love that. And these colors, subdued, love them, love it. And then I have something similar with this other border print. This one is a rayon linen blend. It's heavier weight than the other one. I would still interface everything, but the feel of this would be more substantial on the body. This is how it looks on the sides. It has this print with browns, some paisley type of print like that. So this could be at the hem. I really like that. And then on the other side you have the same. My idea here would be to have the main part of the dress be what's in the middle, and then somehow cut the facings with this so that it would contrast here on the top. I think it would look really striking with that print here on the neckline and then around the hem. So these are the types of projects that take ages to cut out because you have to think, and then you have to do Tetris to try to place your pattern pieces and have them fit the way that you want them to on the print that you want on the same fabric. But those are the most special ones I really enjoy, and just having a think about the project, not just rushing it, just taking a little time. Super satisfying when you have it done. So those are my ideas for the piper boho tunic, but I would make it as a dress. This pattern comes in sizes from 0 to 24. They are drafted for a taller person. I've had great fitting success with the patterns I've made from Wardrobe by Me. Usually the only adjustment I've had to make is lower the bust dart, and that's it. So I'm really thinking it's going to be a really easy to fit project, and most of my dedication would be to get all this facing done right and my pattern pieces cut the way I want them on the border print. The next dress is called Tempo Dress, and it's a pattern in testing from Love Notions, and I'll show you the line out here. Now I have been authorized to give you a sneak peek of the liner. It says there is in testing, so you are allowed to see it beforehand. It will be released next week sometime. I've been testing the pattern along with others, and I've made a muslin. I know what I have to do. It's a really nice dress for summer. It's got wide straps, a bodice that hits the waist. At the back there's like a shirring panel in the center, and the skirt has a bit of gathers, not excessive, and you can make it either above the knee or midi or maxi depending on how long your tiers are. I'll be just making the regular dress without the second tier because I like short dresses. And I've got so many options here for fabrics. I don't know what I'm gonna do, what I'm gonna choose, because yeah, I'm excited about it. It's so cute. It's just perfect to wear in hot weather. And I'll show you from the heaviest fabric I have to the lightest fabric I have. I have 5. I'll probably end up choosing one of these to make it, and you'll see it next week, so sneak peek. The first one is a rayon linen blend, and I've had this since 2020, I think, this fabric. And it's a rayon linen blend, and it's got stripes. I think it would look pretty. They are vertical stripes, so that's good. You know, I could always play with how I put these stripes on the bodice and the skirt to make it look more interesting. That would be fun. And although it is a medium weight fabric, it's not too thick. Now with the shirring panel at the back, I have practiced trying to do shirring on heavier fabrics like this, and it just does not work with my machine. I've tried every single setting, but there is another option in the pattern where you can do these little casings on the inside and use regular elastic instead to gather that panel on the center. So that's something that I would have to do with a heavier type of fabric like this. Otherwise, the gathers on the skirt aren't huge. You know, I don't think this would be really voluminous like that because the gathers are slight and they're not, you know, super gathered. So that's an option. I think it would look really cute with red shoes. You know, red, black and white is a classic for me. So that's the heaviest one I would want to use. The other one is a very beautiful print in a rayon linen blend. Now, this is more difficult to work with the bodice. You would need to stabilize, stay stitch, do the basic things, but I think you just have to be more careful to end up with a really nice neckline that doesn't gape. And I'm really willing to go the extra mile to use fabrics like this because they just feel and look so good on. And the print is so summery, it's beautiful. I think I've shown you this fabric in the past and I just really want to make it. It's just so pretty. I love it. Maybe the tempo dress will end up being this fabric. Although if you know me, I probably won't make just one, I'll probably make two or three, you never know. This one would be a medium weight fabric as well. And then I have 3 fabrics here that are lightweight. Now for these, I would probably line the bodice, so it wouldn't be my official tester version because the official dress has facings, doesn't have a lining for the bodice. But it's as easy as cutting the bodice twice. That's how easy lining is. And I'll probably show it to you when I sew it. And I have this crepe. I really love the print here. It's navy. You know how much I love my navy backgrounds. And it's got this swirly type of print. I think it would look amazing with the gathers. And as for the bodice, you know, I'd probably interface the straps to make them more stable. I'd probably interface parts of the bodice. Maybe I would interface the whole bodice that would go on the inside just to give it a bit more structure. Just a bit of fabric manipulation, and I think you can make anything. So yeah, I can just see this dress made in this fabric. It's so pretty. And then I have 2 100% rayons that are lightweight. I would do the exact same thing that I mentioned with this crepe, which is lining the bodice, interfacing some areas, interfacing the straps. Just those extra steps to the bodice, because when you have a gathered skirt in a rayon, it's so beautiful, it's not bulky, it flows amazing. And that's why I'm willing to manipulate the bodice to work, to be structured, to fit good, to have the flow of the skirt. And this is a classic black and white. I love black and white. You know, I always look at these fabrics when I find them. And it's just got different types of prints there. I think it would look super interesting. And the other fabric I have that is 100% rayon is also a navy blue. And it's got some turquoise and yellows. I have yellow shoes. I'm always looking at prints that have yellow to put on with my shoes. And I think this would be adorable as a tempo dress. Super pretty. I don't know if my voice changes when I'm talking behind the fabric. I hope not. So I don't know, I've got 5 choices here. It'll be really hard to choose, but I'm excited. I'll be working on that dress this weekend and filming a lot of things for you. Now, if you saw my latest video that had the pocket tutorial, I mentioned that I was going to film the inseam pockets of this dress with French seams inside. And that's what I'm thinking about with these light fabrics like this. That would be perfect to film that tutorial for you. I know it's something not everyone will be interested in, but I know there's a group of you who really like those fine details, and I'm excited to make those videos for you as well. Although no one watches them, I'm still gonna make them, you know. Before I keep going, maybe you've seen my short 59-second video about my 10 Sybil Illusion skirts from Love Notions. That is the Feature Friday pattern for today. If you haven't got this pattern yet, it's great value. It's been retested, re-updated to improve the sizing up to 5X. And there's been inseam pockets added. It's 7 skirt styles in one pattern. So you can have so many variations there. I've made 4 of the 7 styles there because the fitted ones are more my style. If you haven't got this pattern yet, it's a great one. Don't miss out because it's $5 today. And then Saturday and Sunday will be discounted to $10. The regular price is $14, so getting it for $5 is really a steal. I will leave you my affiliate link down below, and my blog post has all my skirts, 10 of them, plus all the videos I've already made about them. So have a look at that if you're interested. Back to the summer dresses. There's a pattern that I've had in my computer for ages and ages and ages, and I'm just sick of wanting to make it. I just really want to make it. And it's the Fern top from Pattern Scout. I know it's a top, that's how they sell it, that's how people make it. But as you can see there is a waist seam, there's pleats there for the peplum. You know, making a peplum longer to hit above the knee is so easy. So whenever I see a pattern like that, I just see it as a dress as well. So why not? And there is an extension pack that has a V neckline and a square neckline. I'm interested in the square neckline. I think they are always different and beautiful. I've got 2 types of rayon fabrics here that are medium weight. They're not lightweight. And the first one is a rayon twill. It drapes really beautifully, but it will really work with the structure there that you need for this bodice. The bodice has cup sizes B, C, and D, so that's always great. And the sizing is from 0 to 28, I believe. I'd love to make a solid one in this rayon twill. Sorry, it's a little bit crinkled. I just pulled it out of my stash. It is darker than what you see there. It is actually more like a wine burgundy color, but it would look beautiful. You will really see the neckline. and the waist seam and those little pleats. I think would be super adorable. And I have shoes this color, and this is a type of red for me. It really goes with me, and I feel amazing in these types of burgundy colors as well. The other fabric I would make this dress with is also a rayon, but it's a rayon crepe, and it's also medium weight. It's not lightweight at all. And maybe I've shown this in the past in a fabric haul, but it's at the top of my list. It's got different types of animal prints all over. Let me extend this. It's not the same. So you can see how it goes from selvage to selvage. I know this would be a project that would take me ages to cut as well, to get the type of print where I want it to be, to make it different on the skirt than on the bodice. So yeah, it would be an exciting project that would take me longer than usual, just because of that. And you know, always on those square necklines, you know, you would always need to stabilize and be super careful. I really like taking my time with things like that so they end up looking really nice, not gaping and deforming and things. So yeah, I love this fabric. I really love the blue in it. It would be super pretty with the pleats, and I could just see it in my mind made up like that. The next one is a Butterick pattern, and I don't tend to sew many big 4 patterns because of the limited size range. It's a bit frustrating, you know, but I do have a few of them I've purchased, and I've got them in a PDF format. And there's one that I've always liked, and I look at it and I really want to make it, and it's Butterick 6727. You can see there that the skirt has a little bit of volume. It's a type of A-line skirt. There is a waist seam. There is a button feature on the front. It's not straight. And it's actually just decorative because there is an invisible zipper at the back. So I don't know, maybe I would go the extra mile to make the buttons functional and just skip that zipper, because I don't really see the point. We shall see, but I love the style. I would like to make that sleeveless. And on the file that I have, it only goes from sizes 14 to 20. And I'm actually at the highest size right now, so someone with larger measurements than mine wouldn't be able to make this pattern. And that's why I hesitate to make too many videos about big 4 patterns, because I know the sizing is so limited. Maybe you can see the texture of it. It's definitely not plain and soft. It's got some type of texture, and it is medium weight. And I think it would look really pretty with black buttons going down to highlight that feature. It's a pattern I would really want to make in a fabric like this. And this is one I found in my stash, but actually I could use so many different fabrics for it. I just chose this one because I really think the black buttons would stand out and show that feature, opposed to another one that's more busy print where you wouldn't really see it. And I don't know, it's really hard for me to choose a solid, but a solid would work as well. Like a rayon twill in a solid would look really pretty as well. But that's the one I've chosen to show you with that one, and I think it would look really nice with that fabric. Of course, being careful to not stretch out that neckline. And because these patterns are made for a B cup, I would have to do a full bust adjustment to make it a C, which is not difficult. There's already a dart there, so it would be a quick, easy adjustment to make. And the 7th summer pattern I would like to sew is the April dress from Forget Me Not Patterns. This one was released a couple of months ago, and I saw it first on Kira's channel from Island Socialist. She was a pattern tester, and I really liked her color blocked version. I thought, yeah, I want to make a color blocked version too. And I have my color combinations here. You know, you can sew this as a regular dress that has the curved color blocking there, and then the bottom part is just sewn on straight there. Or you can sew a different one that has gathers on the skirt there. I think I would like to sew both of them. I think they're really interesting. I wouldn't do the pockets though. There are some pockets there on that curved seam. I know I don't want pockets in my dress. Up on the top, it's more simple, a round neckline with a dolman sleeve. I think it would fit really well because the pattern offers a small bust, a medium bust, and a full bust option, which is different to cup sizes, but still would give you a better fit. You know, you take your measurements and figure out what pattern you want to sew. I have a feeling I would need to sew the medium bust option there. I know the pattern would fit really well, and the instructions are marvelous. I already have it there in my file. I have 2 color combinations here. They are both solids, and they are both medium weight fabrics. They're not lightweights. So I have rayon linen blend. It's a fabric I use all the time, and this color combination is not typical for me, but I love it. I love this green. It's like a forest green. It's beautiful. This is the type of fabric that has a beautiful, beautiful texture. I'm not sure if you're going to see it, but I would like to have the green on the top and the black on the bottom. This is the exact same type of fabric, it's just black. So that would be my dress. Green on the top, black on the bottom. I think that would look amazing. Just different, you know, a different dress that people would stare at in the street. which is not a bad thing. The other fabrics I have here are rayon twill, also in solids in different color combinations. So I have this red. They're very, very crinkled, but maybe you can see the twill texture on them. And the other one's navy. So in this case, I would have the red on the top and the navy on the bottom. I'm always keeping the darker color on the bottom and the lighter, nicer color closer to my face, because I know these colors are good next to my skin on my face. I'm keeping the nice colors on the top and the darker ones on the bottom. I think it would be really cool to sew these dresses. The dress that has the gathers on the bottom on that curved bodice, both of these fabrics would work, even though they are medium weight. They are drapey and flowy because they are rayon. They would look amazing. They wouldn't look bulky. And yeah, I just really think it's a really interesting and different dress. And I'm always looking to sew different things, not the same thing I always sew all the time. And you know, designs like this that stand out really call to me, and I really like it. I hope this video was fun to watch. It was really fun for me to dig up my fabrics and put all this together. I get really excited. I picture myself having 72 hours per day and 3 of me to be able to sew everything I would ever want, and I really, really hope I can make some of these dresses come true. I'm also planning to make a video very soon about knit dresses I would like to sew. I have a group of knit fabrics that are at the top of my list that I really want to sew up with nice patterns I haven't made before. So look out for that one too pretty soon. Have a great weekend and happy sewing. Bye.